Lead developer of Heavy Rain, David Cage, said of your boy Ueda, "I think one of the most interesting authors right now in the video game industry is probably Fumito Ueda. I'm totally unable to do what he does because I think it's really unique and it's his world and his vision and I really admire him for that." Brian, does David Cage understand the language that is spoken in Ueda's games?
I'm going to assume when he says author, he means the auteur theory, like film, like the director is the one in charge.
Okay.
I don't really see that in video games that much, aside from a couple people. I look at it more of as a studio way.
Yeah.
Like, I always say Blizzard is the Pixar of video games. I don't know who the lead designer of StarCraft is, but I have complete faith that that game is going to be phenomenal.
Yeah.
One, because I'm Korean, and two, because Blizzard always puts out incredibly polished games as a studio. So, I don't know. I mean, Fumito Ueda, obviously, yes. Big fan of his games. They all feel different emotionally and how they play. Great example of a great author in the industry.
Yeah, and of course we can't forget Hideo Kojima. I mean, you know, love him or hate him, love the Metal Gear series or not, you know, he's certainly an interesting author out there in the video game industry. I mean, you know, he's one of a kind, certainly. But, you know, this quote is great to me. You know, here we have a video game designer, David Cage, you know, taking a step back and saying that someone is doing something that I can't do. Yeah. You know, usually these guys are really arrogant, Cliffy B. So for him to say that, you know, it's great. I think it's a great thing. Now, his point about Ueda is, you know, it got me thinking. You know, Ueda is a guy who makes unbelievable games, but he tells his stories, you know, through the atmosphere and through your interactions with the character. Yeah. You know, which is extremely unique in the video game industry. So I'm with David Cage on this one. I cannot wait for The Last Guardian to come out.
Can't wait for The Last Guardian.
It's going to be ridiculous.
We're going to take a quick break. We come back, we discuss the Bayonetta, Left 4 Dead 2, and God of War 3 demos, and we level up
Ding!
With a little RPG. Stick around, we'll be right back.
Be sure to subscribe to TWiGames.com via RSS, iTunes, YouTube, and Twitter. That's TWiGames.com.
The Left 4 Dead 2, Bayonetta, and God of War 3 demos were recently released, and we had a chance to play them. Brian, what did you think of Left 4 Dead 2?
Reloading. Already played the demo about 11 times. Best experience so far was I played with these 3 hilarious guys from Louisiana. The new Infected add new gameplay elements, but the biggest change for me is you'd always get to these crescendo moments where there'd be a loud noise and all these Infected would come to you. Now you have to wade through the zombies and turn that noise off. It's more fun, great change.
Tell you what, I had a lot of fun with the demo as well. I actually especially liked it because we were playing on Xbox Live and everybody had mics. No, I'm just kidding. But look, it was a fun game, and I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to the release.
What did you think of Bayonetta?
You know, I really enjoyed it. I love action games. A big fan of the Devil May Cry series. You know, the first level when you're on the clock tower, I was like, whoa, this is awesome. But you know what? I gotta say, I'm a little disappointed because, you know, Bayonetta just seemed like a better version of Devil May Cry. Or not even a better version, but like just a crazier version. There's a lot of stuff going on. And another thing I'm kind of disappointed with is we were playing it on the 360, and even on the 360, the graphics weren't that great. And everybody's talking about how the PS3 version's a lot worse, so like, whoa.
What's going on there?
Yeah, I can't even wait to see the PS3 version because that's going to be pretty bad.
I felt like I was playing a Dreamcast game. This game had so much personality and quirkiness. The Sega music came on. The Sega music, and she's got heels that are guns. It was really great to see. It looks like they're combining God of War with Devil May Cry as, you know, the big epic set pieces. And I love that you can dodge out of anything. The animation is so smooth. You can be midway, dodge out.
Yeah.
Great. What did you think of God of War 3?
God of War 3. Look, I am a huge God of War fan. God of War 1 and 2 are probably my favorite action games of all time. Hugely looking forward to God of War 3. Already got the crazy collector's edition pre-ordered. And I gotta say, this demo slightly suffered a little bit from Uncharted 2.
The Uncharted 2 effect.
The Uncharted 2 effect. I mean, I just finished playing Uncharted 2. Boom, I pop in the God of War 3 demo. And it didn't blow me away graphically like I thought it would, but that's because Uncharted 2 is like unbelievable looking. It's really tough.
I'm completely with you. Before Uncharted 2, the only 2 other games that had sort of okay gameplay that I loved was God of War 1 and 2 because the set piece, the pacing, the epicness was just overrided everything.
Yeah.
And I felt the same thing as you. I didn't really like the flying mechanic. I didn't like hitting the harpies. I thought it was a little boring, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is a small piece of the game. Also, keep in mind, this build is 10 months prior to the release of the game. So obviously it's going to get better graphically, but by no means was I disappointed.
Yeah.
I mean, this was God of War 3. I mean, I felt it. And some of the most gruesome things I've ever seen in video games. When you rip out the Cyclops' eye, I was like, wow, did I just actually watch that? I mean, that was crazy.
And that's the essence of God of War, is the feedback you feel is so good. You hit
Yeah.
triangle and he's ripping an eyeball out.
Yeah, and the new weapon is very satisfying. I
Very
mean,
satisfying.
You really pound those characters down. Still looking forward to it.
Time to level up
Ding!
with a little RPG where we play the role of others.
Brian, you are Warren Spector.
Yes.
You're currently working on Epic Mickey.
Yes.
Will you ever release a proper sequel to Deus Ex so we can pretend that Invisible War never happened?
No. And I apologize for Invisible War, sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, because it was not good. However, I got Disney license. I'm working on Epic Mickey. That's Mickey Mouse.
Let me ask you this. How epic is Epic Mickey?
It's going to be so epic, the whole game is going to be purple. That's how epic it's going to be.
Wow,
But this is Mickey Mouse. I'm going to be making sequels. I'm going to be rolling in the dough. You're never going to see that sequel. Never.
Never?
Rich, you are Yamauchi. You spent $60 million on Gran Turismo 5.
That's right.
How much of that was spent on the porn-sounding jazz music in the menus?
You know, I'll tell you what. That actually didn't cost anything, believe it or not.
Really?
That's me playing.
That's you?
I'm a one-man band. And, you know, the thing is, like, I'm not really that into cars. The reason I created the most popular racing series of all time was just to get my music out to millions of people. I drive a Toyota Yaris. You know, the game has been finished for 3 years, but I'm trying to master the soundtrack. So I'm glad that you asked me about the soundtrack.
I highly look forward to it.
Thank you. Brian, you are the German ratings board.
Yes.
You have slipped a listing for Phoenix Wright coming to the Wii.
Yes.
Any objections?
9. The Germans, we welcome the Phoenix Wright into our lives. The Mia is so popular. 9. We can objection.
You realize that Arnold Schwarzenegger is Austrian, right?
9. Rich, you are a car.
Vroom, vroom.
Super Street Fighter 4 is bringing back the car beat-up.
Beep, beep.
Did you switch your insurance to Geico?
Well, Brian, car insurance is no laughing matter. That's why I despise Geico for making a mockery of the industry. That's also why I chose the same brand that President Palmer from 24 chose. What I will say, though, is that I've seen you play Street Fighter 4. I've seen what your co-host does to you. He beats you 9 out of 10 times. So with the controller in your hands, I'm not afraid of this bonus round at all.
Boo.
Brian, you are Metal Gear Solid creator Hideo Kojima. You recently said that you are a huge fan of the Twilight series. Did you use nanotechnology to transform into a 13-year-old girl?
I love Twilight series. Have you seen their jaws? They're very chiseled, pale skin. Look, I really don't like Twilight. Sony's doing something to me. They're making me do things I don't want to do. You gotta help me. You gotta help me. The new Metal Gear Solid 5 is gonna be on PSP only. Love Twilight, guys. Love Twilight. Big fan.
That's it for RPG, where I hit level 50 and Brian's just closing in on level 30. Time for the games releasing this week.
First up, guys, Disney Jonas for the DS.
Kojima here. Big fan of the Jonas Brothers.
New Super Mario Bros. Wii.
Sorry, Reggie, but I'm buying 2 copies of Modern Warfare 2, one for 360, one for PS3, 1 copy of New Super Mario Bros. Wii. Already 50% behind in sales.
Phantasy Star Zero.
Dreamcast version was my first entry to the MMO. Purples.
Modern Warfare Reflex for the Wii.
This is Treyarch doing what they do best, taking an amazing game made by Infinity Ward and making it okay.
Modern Warfare 2.
Our UAV is online.
That's it for this week's episode. Tune in next week or visit our website for past episodes, specials, and our Deals of the Week. I'm Rich Alamanos.
And I'm Brian J. Kim. We'll see you next week. Vampires, man.
Empire's not being like Twilight? Kojima scaring me a little bit.